that approach to, getting a child to kind of do the same thing, they really should have implemented in schools. But I don't know if it's insurance issues, but I went from karate to judo to Brazilian jiu-jitsu, but judo, which I know is a part of a lot of the curriculum in Japan, is interesting because the idea of using your person's movement or energy against them, but there's one aspect of it that's overlooked, and in the beginning, besides the respect and all that, is falling, how to fall, how to mitigate the chance of getting injured, and it's twofold. I mean, if you look at some of the high level falling, it's an art in and of itself. It's called ukemi, the art of falling, and it's training too, because when you do the falls, your body's being impacted, so like your internal organs are like getting hit because you're falling, but then you try to learn how to soften that each time by how to roll, how to dissipate the power amongst wider part. Like if you walk on thin ice, if you just put one foot down, you're going to
I see what you're saying. Okay.
Right. So
the pressure across the rest of the body. Yeah, makes
doing
sense.
that and then grabbing a kid and then understanding balance, it'll start translating into the real world, on how to conduct yourself. It sounds crazy. That's why, I always, my teaching methods were always a little bit different. I tried to find the fastest path on how to beat somebody up, but at the same time, applicability into the real world with martial arts. So, but that's going to be, I think it's going to be something he's never going to forget as a kid. Hopefully he sticks with it. But it's funny, just like anything else. Like you ever hear like the hockey mom or whatever. Like I would teach, and we used to have a bamboo stick that we would use to like point where to put the foot. Okay. Sometimes you give him a little pat. So I would have a parent like, oh, I can't believe you used that in class, right? And then I have another one like, well, you see my kid here? Can you hit him a couple of times really hard with the stick? I'm like, oh, yeah, sure, whatever. It's like different, and he was competing. By 12 years old, he would be in the magazines, winning tournaments. By the time he was 14, he was done, toast,
wow. Burnt
out, right? So that's the discipline and the passion, and it's that we were just talking about before. It's just... To me, the dojo, or what happened on the mat, both as an instructor and as a student, was always like a microcosm of life, right? There's a hierarchy. You got the teacher, then you got your fellow students, and then you got different tiers. You got the asshole who likes to beat people up. You're trying to avoid him in class, and you got the pushovers. You always want to get paired up with that guy because you can always beat him up in class, right? So it's like life,
yeah.
In the dojo. So the real good instructor, I've found, was always the one that somehow was able to take. It wasn't just like a military boot camp style environment. There was some purpose to the training. Because I'm going to be 60. I'm 58 now. I don't compete every week. I was doing that. You put the duffel bag on, fight 3, 4, 5 times a weekend. Stuff is intense. So now I fight in the real estate realm, so to speak.